Through understanding one another's perspectives, understanding the key values and tensions that are influencing problems, we can reveal new possibilities. We can make tough choices. We can make decisions. That's the process of deliberation and facilitation. It's something that's very dear to me, and that's why I'm sharing it with all of you. To back up a little bit, I've been trained in deliberation facilitation by a particular Center for Public Deliberation in Fort Collins, Colorado. And ever since that experience, it's been something that I'm very passionate about, as you'll see. But it's also something I really believe in as a cornerstone of our democracy and strong, healthy communities. But even on a smaller level, and specifically for this class of small group communication, deliberation facilitation is so essential. When we're in small groups, as many of you know, it's hard to make tough decisions. It's hard to make choices. It's hard to problem solve and reveal these new possibilities through creative group work. But what you'll leave after we do some training and have an experience, do some facilitation yourself, what you'll bring to the groups that you're a part of, whether it's in your personal or professional lives, will be so valuable. You'll be a valuable team member, a group mate, that people will recognize that your strengths as a member of a group, your role will be something that's indispensable, because you'll be allowing people to get to the further objective of whatever the mission is within your groups. So what this video is intended to do is not only just summarize some of the elements that are within the PowerPoint that I posted onto Canvas, but I also want to put it into my own words and simplify things a little bit. So let's just talk very broadly about what we're trying to achieve with deliberation facilitation. Well, for starters, deliberation is really intended to arrive someplace. It goes beyond merely having conversation or dialogue. It's really intended to arrive at some sort of conclusion. And while it's a subtle difference, it's really the main essential ingredient of what we're trying to get to, is to explore the complexity of wicked problems that don't have simple answers. As a group and through our trainings, we're going to be better set to come to some place of, even if it's not consensus, we may see a collective pathway forward. So beyond just mere conversation, we're trying to arrive at some place. But through that process, something I really want to highlight is that it comes with a spirit of curiosity, and also a spirit of three separate conditions that I think that we'll want to embody as we try to do our facilitation, and something that we'll try to instill in the people that we're working with. And it begins like this: a condition of value, equality, and self-determination. Let's take one at a time. First, a condition of equality. Oftentimes in our forums, the ones that do exist, there isn't always the equality for people to come sit at this metaphorical table. And what I mean by that is that there's inequity in who has the right to participate in forums and make decisions. And oftentimes really important decisions are in secluded rooms where not everyone has access. In this particular activity, we want to invite people to this forum so that we can facilitate and bring all of the perspectives that we can together. Which leads to a second condition, and that's one of value. The condition of value means that everyone's perspective is so valuable to this overall objective to enlarge our understanding. Now, it may seem counterintuitive. Maybe some of us are more inclined to say that there are some perspectives that are more valuable than others. But I want us to pause with those impulses, because this is something that I do believe, and that's backed by other invitational rhetoricians is that everyone's perspective is partial. And with this end all goal of having an enlarged understanding, each perspective counts. It gives us one more sliver of the pie for the bigger picture. And so that's why the condition of value is so essential. But finally, the condition of self determination. As we deliberate, we'll be trying to arrive at some sort of conclusion. But importantly, after a deliberation is complete, everyone has the right to decide for themselves whether to pursue the direction that was arrived upon or to part ways or disagree. In other words, everyone should be entitled to decide for themselves what they think is best for themselves, for their communities, their families, etc. So with these conditions, let's talk a little bit more about how, as facilitators, we can create this culture, this space of inclusion, and be the leaders in a space. So it really comes down to two different types of communication, verbal and nonverbal. Let's start with the verbal. As we are a facilitator, we need to establish ourselves in the role of facilitator. And in doing so, we are trying to not take control of the flow so much, but really allow others to contribute in ways where there's a healthy interplay between people. Non-verbally, what we're trying to do is show some impartiality. If someone says something surprising, for instance, we want to be cautious about our expressions and our reactions. We want to remain somewhat engaging and supportive of any contribution that may be surfacing. But lastly, as we are doing both verbal and nonverbal moves, which are listed within the PowerPoint, importantly, we're trying to direct our participants, those who are involved in this deliberation, with really sound questions. It's my belief, and backed by the literature on deliberation, that we're really only as effective as the quality of our questions. And so in our preparation for particular deliberations, we'll really want to be thinking deeply and really consider the quality of our questions so that they can continually lead. And other approaches too is that as we ask questions, we'll bring in responses and we'll have interplay of ideas, and we'll be calling upon people to participate and exchange those ideas. But we'll also really want to be sensitive to if someone says something intriguing or insightful or astute, to probe and to follow up on those particular disclosures or ideas, that then we can say, okay, incredible idea, what do others think? And then bring others to continue to build upon what is co-occurring for everybody, which is a construction of new realities, new possibilities, new directions that fuse and build and create new possibilities. And so lastly, what I want to introduce is a small assignment. And it's an informal one, but what I want you to start doing is not only deciding on particular questions or topics that you want to answer as part of this unit, but I want you to start thinking of people that you can be engaging informally to start. Family members, friends, community members, classmates, anybody that you are engaging with regularly. I want you to start using this mindset of curiosity to explore what they have to say about things. Not having an exchange such that it's combative or having any sort of skin in the game, so they may say, but rather getting used to asking questions and probing further and seeing how you can expand in directions that you may not otherwise have got to because of your curiosity for what they think And again, going back to the conditions of value, equality, and self-determination, we're not trying to change anyone's minds. We're trying to embody this idea that everyone has the right to have an opinion, have ideas, but that also everyone's perspective is so valuable to arriving at some conclusion. So in the spirit of that, please start to practice informally. And there, in very short order, we'll be doing more formal practice, but I want you to start doing some tiptoeing or baby steps into this particular practice of facilitation. So thanks for listening. I don't want to take too much time, but that's a little bit of a sneak peek at what we're trying to do, and I'll be following up with more. Thanks so much.